So are the New York Yankees better than the Houston Astros right now as they are currently constructed? Well, we're going to dive right into this based on an article made on NJ.com by Bob Clappish, and he went over 4 different categories comparing the Yankees versus the Astros, and I found it very interesting and a great topic since pitchers and catchers, spring training, and all that stuff is coming up sooner than you think. So let's get right into it. But first, 88.9% of you guys are not subscribed. If I earn your subscription, make sure to hit that subscribe button as we're aiming for that 85 as low as we can go so that we can have more and more people see this content. And we are going down. We started at 89 and now we're making our way little by little down. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys, but now let's really get into it. The first category has to do with starting pitching. As you know, the Houston Astros won the World Series last year, and when the Yankees faced the Astros, basically we got struck out and swept. Literally 50 strikeouts in 4 games. Horrible. But the Yankees took it upon themselves this offseason to really improve that starting rotation. And by improving it, basically, what they ended up doing was just signing Carlos Rodon, which isn't just anything. Carlos is a really great addition to the Yankees rotation, having some people say that it's one of the best rotations in all of baseball. Now, if we look at the Houston Astros, they have a solid rotation. Yeah, maybe not brand names like a Carlos Rodon, but pitchers that are low-key, but some of the best pitchers in the game today. They have Framber Valdez, Christian Javier, Lance McCullers, Luis Garcia, and supposedly Justin Verlander's replacement, Hunter Brown. This whole rotation for the Astros, the only thing that changed is Justin Verlander is gone, but they have that replacement Brown ready to go, and they shouldn't really miss too much steps. As for the Yankees rotation, as I said, we got Carlos Rodon, but if we look at it from the order that probably it will be, you have Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, Nasty Nestor, Luis Severino, and Montas. That's obviously like 2 really good starting rotations right there. And in this case, what Bob gave the advantage to was to the Yankees. And I have to agree with him. The Yankees do have those star power names right there, but the Astros are very, very close. And I would even say that it's tied, or that the Yankees have a slight advantage because of that Carlos Rodon. I mean, it is a slight advantage, but you also have to keep in mind that Carlos Rodon sucked against the Astros in the playoffs in his first only playoff experience, and he got kicked out of the game basically because he just sucked. But that's such a small sample size, we can't really take too much out of that. But you gotta hope that Garrett Cole having that backup with Rodon will kind of help him like his Astros days when he had Verlander there. But if anything, the Yankees have a slight advantage, and I'll give it to the Yankees. Now let's head into the bullpen. The Yankees have Clay Holmes, who is basically their closer now, who I would say is their best pitcher in the bullpen right now. Then you got Canely, who's the new addition, but we're going to have to see how he plays out. You have Wandy Peralta, who is, I would say, the second best in that bullpen, and he's been very reliable, solid. I would say the Yankees overused him last season just for the fact that he was so reliable and the Yankees had so many injuries in that bullpen. Then we got Marciano, which is another great name, another good player. I'll be interested to see how he develops this next season. Johnny Loizaga, another great pitcher that I was really excited for a year or 2 ago when I saw him coming up. But now it's kind of like you don't know what you're going to get sometimes. Hopefully he can stay consistent and we have a solid arm there. Michael King, he's not going to be ready for opening day. He was really solid, one of the best relievers in the game last season. If we get him back healthy, then we should be good to go with one of the best arms in baseball. And then we got Lou Trevino, another guy that we got from the Oakland Athletics, and he's solid. I mean, he seems pretty good. He did get injured. And so the Yankees got plagued with a bunch of injuries in that bullpen last season, so we didn't see that full potential in the playoffs necessarily, but let's see how that mashes up all together. The Yankees really didn't do too much improvements this offseason, basically just relying on them to be healthy going into next season. But when we look at the Astros, again, they are very, very solid in this bullpen. Leading the charge is their closer Presley. Then you got Stanek, Neris, Montero, Abreu. Really solid arms. Guys that you really don't want to see any of them when they're coming out of the bullpen, and it's kind of scary, I must say, especially seeing that bullpen in the playoffs, in the World Series. I was like, man, this is something else right here. And they're all healthy, ready to go. I mean, this is a real simple answer. The Astros have the advantage when it comes to the bullpen. They had more saves, a better batting average against, a better whip, more strikeouts. The bullpen is set up a whole lot better than the Yankees. And the Yankees, I feel like, are just hoping that all these guys get better, because the Yankees bullpen was really solid, especially when Chapman was actually on his game. Obviously, Chapman going into next season is not a thing anymore. He's not coming back. The Yankees hopefully have more of a clear direction by having Clay Holmes be their closer going forward, and everyone else hopefully can stay healthy, because the Yankees really do have a good bullpen. It's just that injury bug that gets them sometimes. But for now, if we're looking at the state of the Yankees versus the state of the Astros, you got to give it to the Astros. The Astros have a better bullpen right now. It's going to be tough facing that bullpen in the playoffs, or really any game of the season. In the next category, we're going to focus on offense. Here, the Yankees haven't done much. They can't take that liberty of just not doing much with that lineup, especially when the Astros struck them out 50 times in 4 games. It goes to show you, if Judge is not awake or active or hot hitting, then the Yankees don't have a powerful lineup, especially if Stanton is asleep as well. DJ LeMahieu, good news that he doesn't have to have surgery, so he's going to be ready for opening day. We're going to really rely on a 30-something-year-old that is definitely starting to be past his prime, if not past it already, to try to have a great season. That's a horrible bet. I mean, DJ LeMahieu is a great player and all, but I don't know if we can rely on just a DJ LeMahieu to change up this whole lineup. The Yankees are also relying on rookies. We're talking about Anthony Volpe, Oswald Peraza, Oswaldo Cabrera, all these guys to really step up and be the top tier of rookies. I don't know what the Yankees are expecting, if they're really believing in these prospects, but it better not be another Clint Frazier type of situation where we're just getting hyped up on a guy and then we see nothing progress. Maybe the Yankees get lucky and we get a Jeremy Pena out of any of these guys. It's very unlikely for that to happen. Hopefully, I really do hope one of these guys pan out. We saw some glimpses of Oswaldo Cabrera out there and hustling and doing that. I love that. I feel like he has a place on this team. Yeah, I want to see Peraza have more time to prove himself, and as well as finally see Volpe up and see what he has. It is exciting because they are top prospects, but there are a lot of times or situations where top prospects don't pan out. Hopefully, it's not the case for the Yankees, because they're really relying on these rookies to do something. We missed out on a bunch of prospects throughout the last off seasons because we've been waiting for these rookies to come up. Not only that, but we're also going to be relying on Josh Donaldson and Aaron Hicks, because it seems like, at least right now, they're not going anywhere, and they're going to be in the opening day lineup, or at least be a part of this season in a big way. So you can say the Yankees have basically the same lineup going into next season. What did we do this offseason? We got Rizzo. We just re-signed him, really. And then we got Judge. Again, we re-signed him, basically. And what else could you do? We're going to get DJ LeMahieu, and that's going to cure it all. We're going to get a couple of rookies that are the top prospects, and hopefully they become something big. And then we're going to hope Josh Donaldson can actually hit the ball, and Aaron Hicks can actually know what he's doing out there in the outfield. And I don't know what to say with that. I mean, just with that alone, you can say the Houston Astros have the advantage, because there's so many question marks in that Yankee lineup that not even a Brian Reynolds or really any name out there will change this lineup and make it into an amazing lineup. Because getting an Aaron Judge, yes, he hit 62 home runs, amazing, a great accomplishment. But will he hit 62 home runs going into next season? No. He's probably going to hit half or maybe 40 or something like that. But will that make a big difference for the Yankees? Just one player? No, this is a team sport, and we need multiple players in that lineup to show up. And I don't know how well the Yankees are going to show up going into next season. And if you look at the Houston Astros, they have upgraded. They didn't even need to upgrade, yet they did. They got the 2020 MVP, Jose Abreu. He was playing for the White Sox, and now he's playing for the Astros. And that starting lineup is something else. Literally, you're going to have Alex Bregman, Kyle Tucker, Yordan Alvarez, Jeremy Pena, probably before Yordan, And then you got Jose Abreu, like a crazy lineup. It doesn't matter if the Yankees got Carlos Rodon or whoever else. That's a hard lineup to go through, no matter what pitcher you are. And so having to face that in the playoffs or in any regular season game is going to be very tough. And simply here, the Astros have the advantage. It's very clear. The Yankees have not improved that lineup, and it's going to be very hard for them to improve it any more than it is right now. But the Astros have gotten better in their offense. It's going to be interesting to see how well the Yankees do offensively going into next season. And the fourth and final category is the manager. The Yankees have Aaron Boone. The Houston Astros have Dusty Baker. If you look at these two good managers, when you look at them on paper, one is more experienced. When you look at Dusty Baker, a Hall of Fame career, a guy that I feel like has a closer relationship with each and every single one of his players, a guy that brings in that old school mentality. And what I do enjoy about a Dusty Baker is that he's not going to give into analytics because his bosses want him to give into analytics. He's going to stand up for it and say no to the analytics. When James Click, their former GM, went to them and said, hey, this is what we got to do. We got to make these trades. You got to start playing this player. You got to start doing this. Dusty Baker said no. He had some balls. He said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick with this lineup. I'm going to have Jeremy Pena there. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And he stuck with it. And give him props. They won the World Series. He's a Hall of Fame manager and a guy that deserves plenty of high fives, especially since he invented it. But that brings us to Aaron Boone, a manager that I would say most Yankee fans don't really like in a sense. At least that's the feedback I get. Many people see him as soft, see him as a guy that's just going to hit the table, but it's just more for the dramatic look of it and not because he's actually angry. He's a puppet. He's just whatever Brian Cashman tells him, he's going to follow through with that and not necessarily say, oh no, I think this is the better baseball strategy. More of like a guy that's going to be like, oh, I was hired to actually just kind of, yeah, I could go away, but I need to answer if I get it wrong. Like, I'm going to just follow the job here. I'm going to listen to what corporate's saying and then just do that and not really follow my gut. That's a puppet. Don't get me wrong. He seems like an awesome person, but I don't know if I want an awesome person necessarily leading the Yankees. I want someone that is going to be above and beyond, very strict, but then also can be that friend and guidance and mentor and all of that stuff combined, but not with just being too much of your friend and that's about it, and I'm not going to be strict with you. It's like one of those parents that are just like friends with their kids, but don't put their foot down when they actually have to be a parent, and then that line gets blurred in a way. Well, I see Aaron Boone one of those type of guys that he's like, oh, I'll be your friend, but he doesn't know when to put his foot down and actually make the decisions that need to be made when you're the manager of the New York Yankees. Yet you got to give Aaron Boone props. Yes, you can say it's just the roster in general that the Yankees are going to win, but Aaron Boone has led the Yankees to 99 wins, to 90 wins, to a good amount of wins consistently throughout the years, and that's why he has a job. But every time we get into the playoffs, that's when certain decisions are very questionable, and it's something that we got to look at. Of course, every manager is going to have questionable decisions. There was points, even in the World Series with Dusty Baker, that I was like, oh man, Dusty's going to fumble the bag right here, and the Astros are definitely going to lose. But some of these guys, experience takes over, and it helps them win, and their team leads them to a World Series championship. I would say Aaron Boone's relationship with Aaron Judge is awesome, but I don't see the same type of relationship that Dusty Baker has with every single player on the Astros team, and also with the fan base. People love Dusty Baker out here. Living out here in Houston, I see it all the time when I interact with different Astros fans. They love Dusty Baker. And even to the point when I asked him, oh, how does it feel like that you guys are so close to winning the World Series? They would be like, well, let's see how it goes. We lost a few, but it would be awesome to see this win just for Dusty Baker. We want it for Dusty Baker. A lot of people admire and love Dusty Baker, and that's not what I see with Aaron Boone. And just for that alone, even, you can say that the Astros have the advantage with Dusty Baker. And to wrap it up, the Yankees have to prove it. The Yankees have to prove that they can go over that hump, which is the Houston Astros, because it seems like that's their kryptonite. They can win regular season games, but when they make it to the playoffs and face the Houston Astros, that's when everything just goes down the drain. Judge doesn't know how to bat anymore. Stanton is just striking out. And Josh Donaldson, I mean, don't get me started with him. All of these guys just shut down when they play against the Houston Astros. It's embarrassing. The Yankees should be winning more. The Yankees should be set up better, especially with the amount of profit and money that they're making as a franchise. The Yankees should be competing with the Mets in the sense of how much they're spending. The Yankees are trying something different. They're going to be waiting for those prospects, waiting for Volpe to come on up and be the superstar that he's meant to be. Hopefully that plays out, and hopefully after this season we don't see Donaldson again, or maybe even Hicks again. But right now the Yankees, the way that they're set up, they are not better than the Houston Astros. It was going to take a monster offseason to say that the Yankees are even tied with the Houston Astros or better than them. The Astros are just set up to win over the next few seasons, and that's hard to swallow as a Yankees fan, but the Yankees really do need to make some changes. Give them credit. They are starting to make changes in the front office, which is awesome to see with these new advisors, old school type of guys that could challenge that analytical type of mindset, which is great to see. And hopefully that shows some effect going into the future in the Yankees organization and who they sign, who they trade, because the Yankees can use every single little advice, every single type of help in order for them to overcome the Houston Astros or really any other team, because right now a lot of baseball teams are getting better and they're going to be ready to contend for a World Series. It's getting scary as a Yankee fan, but you got to have hope. But let's see how it all turns out, because I'm rooting for the Yankees to win the World Series and for us to finally beat the Houston Astros and have that epic walk-off to beat them and go into the World Series and win it all. Yes, it's a fantasy. Yes, it's a dream right now based on everything we just talked about. But hopefully the Yankees can find a way to pull it off, because they are the New York Yankees and we are the evil empire. And let's see what happens. But thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, especially if I earned it. And I'll see you guys next time.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.